Homies, we are here to talk about uppers. Now, what is upper? What is upper? That wasn't supposed to be a corny joke. I wasn't trying to crack a dad joke. That was me not being able to speak. So what is uppers, you might ask? So uppers, my friends, is a Kenichiro Takaki game. If you guys are familiar with that name, that's the homie that did the Senran Kagura series. Hey, y'all know what Senran Kagura. Come on, man. Y'all know what Senran Kagura is. The booby ninjas, we out here. That game. So you kind of got an idea of what this guy's about a little bit, right? And what I will say, man, is that this game, I'm so happy that it got released, and it had an English release, because it's originally a PS Vita game that came out back in 2016, actually. So it's about 5-6 years old at this point, and it looked like for a while it was going to kind of get lost in like a translation / development hell, because we know that Sony's been on like a big sort of censorship kick here lately, where a lot of things are either getting like super watered down or not able to come out overseas at all at this point. And I'm glad that this was able to make its way on Steam. It came out on Steam on, I think it was October of 2020, so it's a few months old at this point, and I don't see it getting a lot of love, man. And I think that a large part of it is because it is not a game from this era. And what I mean, man, is that uppers isn't some sort of complex look into like the human condition. It's not trying to tell this grand story. It's not this just multiplayer experience that's got like a bunch of money injected into it. What it is, man, is it harkens back to the old PS2 era of games, back when things kind of would be able to come out on like a double A budget, a single A budget, a B budget, man, where there was a sort of middle ground back in the day, you know, where nowadays I feel like the gaming landscape is it's one of extremes, you know, where we have AAA titles that are full of money, where you can just look at the title screen and tell like these big studios and companies had all the cash, and like psychologists and investors thinking about all the ways that they could get people to sink money into this product. Or you have like the indie development and stuff, where you have like the smaller team of like a couple people or maybe a few people kind of making different like 2D experiences, and not always 2D, but you know, just the indie development scene. And I don't think that we have the middle ground of development like we used to back in the day during like the original Xbox, GameCube, and PS2 era, where you would have these games that would come out that were made by like smaller studios who were able to do like these passion projects, you know, where like the game clearly didn't have a lot of money, that they were working on a lot of budget, the games were flawed, but there were just something about them, you know, like you could tell that there was like passion put into it, love put into it, and it shines through in so many little ways that make it just such a fun thing to play and experience, you know. And that's where uppers comes in, man. Uppers to me just gave me like a nostalgia kick back to those days of just sitting in front of my PS2 on the floor at home, and like my early adolescent to teenage years, man, of just like playing these like weird flawed titles that were just so much fun, and like you couldn't put them down, and like they were just they were cool, you know, like. And I think that's what uppers is, you know. It's unapologetic about what it is. Uppers knows that it's not gonna be the next big thing, and it's not trying to be. It knows that it's not gonna be telling some story that's gonna sit down and make you think about like humanity in some way. And it's not trying to do that. What it is, man, is it's a game about cool buff dudes who like looking at girls, who want female attention, and who want to be the strongest people on this island, because that's what cool guys do, you know? So let me give a quick rundown of the story, right? The story takes the perspective of our two main characters, Michiru and Ranma. They're two friends who end up on Last Resort Island, which is basically this place where all like the badasses and delinquents go, and it's a land where survival of the fittest, you know, where like the strongest physical presence is able to have all the money, riches, and women that they want. And after being told this and realizing that if they're able to get to the top of the food chain in this place, Ranma, one of our main characters, decides that he's going to the top, that he's going to do everything that it takes to get the girls to love him, because that's the kind of person that he is. Ranma, my friends, is the simp king, and I'm not even mad at it. You know, it's such his motivation is just like so shallow and stupid, but there's self-awareness about it, you know, where other characters kind of call him out and it's like tongue-in-cheek, but it's fun, you know, like we don't need some sort of like tragic backstory or some reason to go on this trip. This game is about cool looking people with style and muscles using cool punches and kicks to beat each other up with some fan service thrown in between, you know, and like that's absolutely fine, man. And as far as like the gameplay and the loop goes and stuff, you got your light punches with the square, you got your triangle strong attacks, and then you got your evades and your throws and everything mixed in, and you got a lock on button, which is actually one of the neater mechanics in this game when it comes to the defensive system, because rather than blocking, you hold down the L2 to go into a defensive stance, and then your character kind of like dodges around, like missing attacks and stuff, and like you can use this to like body moves pretty easily, except on like the harder difficulties where like you're trying to dodge and they grab you and take over half your health. Shit had me tight a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, but what it really becomes cool when you start getting into the boss battles, right? When you start running into the boss characters who are also able to use this mechanic, so then you get into like this cool kind of like tug of war, like back and forth, like I'm dodging your attacks, you're dodging my attacks, looking like a sick like Dragon Ball Z style anime fight sort of thing going on, and it's so much fun, man. And while the game is definitely like not the most complex thing ever, we're not talking like Devil May Cry levels of depth and everything here. There is an upgrade system. You're able to kind of get more chains in your combos, increase your character's attack power, build up your health, and also like mechanically they have different like you mixing up your lights and your heavies, and there's like a dash cancel mechanic if like you're trying to get into like some of the more technical aspects of it. And what sets it apart too from just like a standard sort of like a Streets of Rage sort of thing is that there's a system in the game where like, because you're trying to get women's attention, right? Seeing the ladies is a big part of this game. You when you're in the middle of your fights, there'll be random crowds of women who give you like little submissions to complete while you're doing your fights, you know. So like one girl wants you to throw a bicycle at a dude, another one wants you to grab this person 3 times, another one wants you to use your like special attack to go into like your rise up mode. Rise up, gamers. They want you to go into your rise up mode in order to do like a special finish on somebody with you and your tag partner, because it is a tag based game, and it gives you something else to kind of like focus on. And if you're like a completionist or a perfectionist type of person and you want to try to get more of the unlock bonuses, this is the way to do it. And what you unlock from the ladies in addition to like attack bonuses and health ups and stuff like that, you get these letters from them, right? And then in the letters, you go back to your room, you get them photos, boy. That's what we're talking about. You know we gotta have the fan service in this game, man, made by the creators of Senran Kagura. So you go back to your room, you go to what they call the appreciation menu, and you get on there and you can do your creepy guy Vita stuff where you can scrub on the various parts of the girls, put them in different outfits and stuff like that. It's fun, man. Like I think that we kind of live in a weird day and age where there's just so much sensitivity about a lot of things, you know, where things that we used to be able to laugh and joke about, and things that were just kind of seen as like stupid humor have now become, I guess, a means of offense or being taken in a derogatory way. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not gonna die on that hill of like there being things in the past that didn't need to die, because there are definitely certain insults and like ways of looking at things that we progressed past, and I think that's great. But overall too, I think that like there's just so much sensitivity and censorship and things that you're like quote unquote not allowed to say anymore. And I think that that's another reason why I have such an appreciation for uppers, you know, like it's dumb, you know, but dumb in the best kind of way. It's like we had talked about, man, it's about girls and cool animations and punching people and charm and style and aesthetic and that kind of thing. And it's just not something that you really see anymore. You know, it's like it's a relic from a forgotten past is what it feels like. And it's very similar. Excuse me. It's made by the same developer, Bullet, who did the Ken Kabancho games. If you guys ever played any of those in the PSP, those beat 'em ups where you have like your customizable character, you put them in different outfits and you're going around beating the hell out of people. It's a pretty similar system to that. So if you guys are familiar with that series, you kind of got an idea of like what some of the combat and like the aesthetic sense is in this game. And I really love it, man. I like the characters, you know, like for as shallow as they are and everything, like the personalities and just like the way the characters interact and stuff. It can be fun and it can actually really make you laugh and stuff at times just because of how ridiculous some of the situations that the characters get themselves into are. A lot of just personality. One of my favorite things about video games and animation in general is how a character's personality is portrayed through the way that they move. And Uppers has a lot of that, you know, like the way that the characters moves, their combos, like their various taunts, like their defensive their defensive steps, and just the way they even walk and things like that are conveyed really well through their animations. And I love that kind of stuff, you know, how you can get a feel for what kind of person this character is just by looking at the way that they walk and move. Like that's something that I have a huge love for. It's something that draws me to like fighting games especially. And like you see that in Uppers, man. You can tell that there was love and care put into these characters, that somebody like thought about how they want this to look, how they want this character to move. And it's just, there's something authentic about it, you know. It doesn't feel manufactured or like just sanitized like so many things feel like they are nowadays. It's a really cool experience, man. And if you're a fan of beat 'em ups or just I guess just anime, you know, and like if there's anything that I've said throughout this review in regards to like the stylishness of it, you know, and if you're a fan of I guess like Japanese delinquent stories or like shonen battle anime and manga and that kind of stuff, where strong people are beating each other up and that kind of thing, and like you're cool with just like fan service and having a good time and looking at hot guys trying to impress hot girls and beating the hell out of each other, you know, I think that you're gonna find a lot to like with this game. So that being said, I recommend it. You can find it on the PS Vita. It's untranslated, but if you have a jailbroken Vita, you can go in. There's an English patch available for it. Pretty damn cool, so that's an option. But also, for all my English homies over here, we got the Steam release now. You know, you can find this bad boy on Steam. You boot it up, and it also comes with the added bonus of some costumes. And also, you get the homie Daidoji from the Senran Kagura series, who is Jotaro Kujo R34, basically. Pretty sick character. Daidoji is definitely one of the best girls from the Senran Kagura series. Fight me if you disagree, but they come with some cool little bonuses and stuff, man. So now I'll kind of end off here. I just wanted to give a little bit of a talk about why I think this game is cool and why it's worth a look, because it's doing just something different from so many of the things that we see nowadays. And if you're the sort of person that grew up in like that PS2, GameCube, Xbox era, and you're looking for something that kind of takes you back to a simpler time, like a pick up and play, and just something that you can just have some fun with without feeling like you have to be in like this deeply invested sort of like put my thinking cap on kind of thing, and you're just up for enjoying the game and having fun with what it has to offer, then you're gonna like Uppers. So take it easy, guys. I appreciate you listening to the review, analysis, whatever the hell you want to call this. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.